All right, well, this is my first drive in the CX-50. I haven't driven it yet. Now, at home we have a CX-5 and a Mazda 3. So two very different vehicles from the CX-50. We're just going to leave the dealership here, take it out onto the main road. Let's see. So I'm just curious to see how it feels in comparison to the CX-5, which will obviously be the closest model we have in the fleet to the CX-50. And my favorite feature, of course, is the auto hold brake. I'm sitting here at a stop sign waiting to pull onto the main road. And the auto hold brake is just by far my favorite. Don't have to hold the brake down, just sit here. Brakes are automatically engaged, and let's see if we can just pull out here. All right. Right away, the very first thing I notice is the stability of the car. It's a lot different than the CX-5. It just feels stable. I can definitely feel that the back end is a lot wider. I'm curious to see how Mazda's incorporated the GVC into this for your G vectoring controls into the vehicle. Essentially what that's going to do is apply a hint of braking pressure when we go around bends. Coming out of bends, it's going to kind of mess around and play around with the torque in the engine to give it the performance. So let's go here. We've got a bend coming up. I'm curious. There's no body roll in the car. And I'm staying stationary in my seat, which I like. Again, that's GVC working at its finest. So that was pretty cool. There are a couple more bends. I'm going to take them a little faster. Let's see, the pickup's good, but of course it's with the turbo engine, so it picks up quite nicely. But if we take it, we're at 60 right now, 65, and I can see that in my heads-up display in front of me in the windshield, which I like. One of my favorite features on the cars we have is that heads-up display. It shows you your speed, your navigation, heck, it even shows you if there's a stop sign up ahead, which is pretty cool. But it's pretty smooth. Very similar to the CX-5 and the Mazda 3 both, actually, with the interior layout, so it's something very familiar for me and something I'm really comfortable with. More so just because everything lays at my fingertips, which I really like. So as we come to a stop here, and we go, like naturally when I drive, I'll drive with my left hand and my right hand on the gear shift, which lies naturally right where my arm will fall when I use the center armrest here. And then obviously for the infotainment screen, we've got the HMI command control center, which is right at my fingertips, which I really like. So it's all just natural and very human-centric, as Mazda would say. And I guess the big difference, of course, is what's above us in the panoramic sunroof. So that's new. I've never experienced that in a Mazda vehicle. So it's obviously from the driver's seat, not much of a vantage point, but just sitting in the back seat earlier, from the back seat, it's really cool having that full view up above you. Now we're pulling up to the lake. We're not too far from the lake at Ajax Mazda, which is nice. It really gives a nice test drive route, something I like to recommend for anybody coming in for test drives, especially on a day like this. The car is telling me it's 21 degrees outside. And there we go, there's only 23 kilometers on this car. There's the lake there. Okay. Take it out by the lake, take it for a slalom run down this road here. Just again, the big thing I'm noticing is just the rear end. You can feel it behind you, just the grip it has on the road. Such a wide stance, it's pretty cool. Now, what's really cool is this is actually Mazda's first production vehicle out of Alabama. So what Mazda did is they partnered up with Toyota. So they have the Mazda-Toyota joint manufacturing plant in Huntsville, Alabama. So this is Mazda's first production vehicle from that plant, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna try to pick it up with some speed here. Let's see. Okay. Using the paddle shifter. Yeah, that's smooth. Yeah. Such a smooth pickup. And of course, no CVT transmissions in these vehicles either, which I really love, which I'm really fond about with the Mazda lineup, is No CVT transmission. It's smooth. All right, take a bend here. Let's see how it feels. A little more speed too. And you can see, even though I'm taking this at just about 70 kilometers an hour on the bend, there's no body roll in the car, as I mentioned. And then the really big thing for me is, just as a driver, is not falling side to side in the car when I do take the turns a little harder. It's just really comfortable, which is good. Now, one thing Mazda did in engineering this car, I know we keep mentioning, yes, this is an off-road type vehicle. It's Mazda's first introduction to kind of that off-road segment. But Mazda understands drivers and use of vehicles. So what they actually did is they had a, to the best of my knowledge, is Mazda actually had some tests done where, you know, just study how we use these vehicles. And majority, like you and I, probably the majority of people will take this vehicle, let's say camping or up to the cottage. Whereas, you know, we don't have specific vehicles meant for that in our household anyway. So this vehicle still needs to be able to drive comfortably in city streets. So just everyday driving down the road. So the way Mazda's tuned to this vehicle is that it's not going to jeopardize the same great drive we're accustomed to in the Mazda when we are driving inner city. But then again, when we do get to a point where we are, you know, maybe on a dirt road or driving up to the cottage camping, we do have the off-road mode, which is pretty cool. We might take this up to the highway just to pick it up on sport mode and test that out. There's not really a place we can take this one off-road here, but we can definitely test out the new My Drive functions. One thing I like with the Mazda that I see common across the fleet, especially with this one, is that the interior cabin is very, very, very quiet. Now, Mazda's really accomplished that across the whole fleet, so that's not really different with the CX-50, just something that's keeping consistent within the fleet, which I really like. Okay, so let's try it out on the highway. I'm really excited to try out these new Mazda My Drive modes, or the Mazda Intelligent Drive mode. Again, just the couple modes there are. There's normal driving, there is sport mode and off-road mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to try out the sport mode when we get it onto the highway, hoping there's no traffic, so we can actually give it some pull and test it out. Now, what's really cool is that the My Drive switch is actually located right next to the gear shift. So as I said, primarily when I drive, my right hand is on the gear shift, and I think that's the same for most people. So what I really like is that the switch is right beside that gear shift, so it's very easy. I'm just messing around with it here at the red light, and we'll go now. It's very easy to switch those controls to change those drive modes. One thing too I've noticed, and primarily at home I am driving the Mazda 3. It's a Mazda 3 Sport, so it does have some tighter windows in the back, and maybe it's because I'm accustomed to that, maybe not, I'm not sure. But I've noticed on the CX-50 that when I'm changing lanes and I check my mirrors and then my blind spots, that when I look out my blind spot, which I'll do because we're stopped at a light, when I look out the blind spot back here, the window is actually pretty big. And even the smaller windows just behind that are big enough actually to see out there. So if your mirrors are positioned right, plus the window, that really eliminates the blind spots. Obviously the car has the blind spot monitoring system there to help, but really it's quite comfortable to look out there and see everything. Now I'm really curious to try this out on the on-ramp, because I've noticed so far it does take corners pretty well. So I'm going to take it pretty hard and see. The GVC control is going to kick in. Now I'm going about 70 kilometers an hour right now. I'm going to take the inside, and it handles fine. I'm not really leaning too far into the turns. It looks like we've got some clear lanes on the highway, so we'll give it a kick. I'm going to merge without the sport mode. Just want to see how it naturally merges. And again, those great back windows are huge, very easy to see onto the highway. What I'm going to do is change here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw it into the sport mode. So the My Drive command switch beside me. So there, whoa. Okay, yeah, you definitely feel it. Okay, whoa. Okay, it's definitely picking up pretty quick. I'm going to skip one interchange, and we're going to go, whoa, okay. I actually didn't realize how fast I was going. Thankfully, the heads-up display is there to alert you and let you know when you are driving a little too quick. But, wow. I'm not going to repeat how fast I was going, but it's picks up pretty quick. I do like that. I like it a lot. And one thing I'm going to do is actually I want to test out the paddle shifters too on the turbo here. I'm going to hit the left paddle shift, which is obviously going to drop a gear, and it's going to launch us a little bit. Now this is without the sport mode on, so I'm just going to try it without the sport mode. And I'm just going to make sure that I don't speed past a police officer here, because that wouldn't be too good. No, we're okay. So we're going to pick it up a little bit. Hit the paddle shift. Whoa, okay. So it does pick up quite quickly with the paddle shifter. I do like that. Now we're gonna just jump off the highway here when it's safe. Again, those back windows are huge. I love that. I can see everything beside the car. Absolutely love that. Change again. Perfect. Now what I might do is just try maybe a bit of a harder brake. So I'm going to hit the brakes a little hard here, just coming off the highway. There are no cars around me right now, so quite safe to do so. And again, that same great Mazda control. When you hit the brakes pretty hard on the Mazdas, and same on this one too, I notice that the car doesn't fluctuate from its position. It's going to drop the nose a bit, and it's going to hold straight, so you're not hammering the brakes, and the car's not swaying back and forth as we do that. Now we're just going to jump off the highway, and we're going to jump back on again. And what I'm going to do merging onto the highway this time is I am going to put it in sport mode and use the paddle shifters all together. I'm going to test it out and see how that goes. We actually got these two cars together the same day. The other one's polymetal gray, and I actually really like that polymetal gray on the CX-50. It looks really good. It looks like as though it was just made for the car. This one is a new color, the sand color. It's kind of neat. It kind of suits the whole concept of the car and the whole idea of this car, and I don't know, it's growing on me very quickly. And then of course this particular one has the terracotta leather interior, whereas the other leather option is a black leather, and it's got terracotta accents on it. So I saw that one on the GT non-turbo that's in our showroom. Here we go. We've got the advanced left, so we're gonna go. Now what I'm gonna do is just very easy. I'm accustomed to Mazda, so I'm not even looking down at the switch. I know exactly where it is. I'm gonna flick that up into sport mode. Mind you, I am gonna merge behind a big truck, so see if I can just create some distance here between us. So I'm in sport mode, and I can feel it. Even the slightest fluctuation on the gas, it really wants me to go. So what I'm going to do is merge here. Got a clear space. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Just going to shift up again because we've reached out. I'm going to turn off the sport mode because don't need that. Don't need to get in trouble. All right. Of course, the blind spot monitoring system you probably heard just jump on there. What I'm going to do is get over. We're going to jump off the 401 and head back to our showroom. I can't say that I'm surprised by how the CX-50 is handled. Just overall handling, regardless of the power, just the true feeling of driving. Mazda's truly made a human-centric vehicle, which was expected. We knew it was coming down the line. Obviously, Mazda's not going to deviate from their human-centric platform. But I've been excited for this car for a very, very long time, ever since it was announced it was coming. And then obviously when they launched the teaser videos and then the initial launch virtually, but seeing it in person for the first time was really cool. And then just recapping this first time for me driving it, having driven Mazdas for many years personally, and then both at the showroom at Ajax Mazda. This is probably the best handling vehicle we have, and I'll say that as I drive a Mazda 3 Sport at home. I still think this has a leg up on it. It's just, it's built for the corners. It's pretty cool. Now, one thing I'm excited for that I didn't touch on actually is the towing capacity of this particular vehicle. So this can actually tow 3,500 pounds. So it's got a towing capacity 3,500 pounds on the turbo, which is pretty cool. Again, the whole purpose of the vehicle primarily focused on whether it's cottage trips, going up camping, just the outdoor lifestyle. Of course, conforming to an inner city lifestyle as well, handling very well on the city streets. But having that ability to tow 3,500 pounds is really neat. And then one thing I've noticed that I really do like is the wheelbase. So the back end of this vehicle, although it's a little longer, the back end of the vehicle does not overhang the rear wheels too far. So if we were to take it in the off-road mode and take it up a steep hill, the back end of the car is not going to bounce and hit the ground. So they've really done well with the wheelbase on this car, which I really do like. Something I noticed right away. I think that's going to be a good thing for anybody that might be towing or just taking the car off road. We're almost back, and I'm sure there's a lineup of people waiting for a test drive in this, so we've got to get this back pretty quickly, but we'll just pull into the left turn lane. Yeah, I've actually had a couple notifications come up on the Apple CarPlay here. Of course, the vehicle will read out text messages to you, whether or not it's on the Apple CarPlay system, Android Auto, or just on the regular Mazda system. In the infotainment system, it'll read out text. So I've got a couple people letting us know that there's some people eagerly waiting to test drive this one. Let's see if we can do this. Give it one more kick. Put your foot down on the accelerator. It really wants to go. I'm a big fan of that. And immediate control of the vehicle. Just immediate. Okay, we're rolling back to the Ajax Mazda showroom. I gotta say, I'm a big fan. The anticipation was definitely matched with the excitement after driving this thing. I'm very impressed, and like I said, I've been a Mazda enthusiast for many years. I drove a Mazda. I owned a Mazda before I even worked for Mazda. So I've been a fan. I've been a Mazda enthusiast for many years, and now having my fourth Mazda at home and driving this is different. This is cool, and it's a welcome addition to the lineup. I'd really encourage anybody and everybody to come visit us and take this one out for a test drive, because it's an experience. It really is, and obviously that's what Mazda is all about, giving us a great experience. And you know what, maybe I should bring this up to the front, because I'm sure there are people waiting for this. So let's take this one out. There you go. Yeah, I'm a fan. I think it's a welcome addition to the lineup, and appreciate you guys watching the video with me, and let me know what you think. Come on in and see us. It's a beast. Again, I'm Bryant, Ajax Mazda. Thank you so much for joining me during the drive and checking out our all-new 2023 Mazda CX-50. We'll see you soon.